All right. Hello, everyone. Hold on. I believe there's gonna be some echo. Here we go. This should be all right. All right. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria.
Welcome.
For those of you who might be new, welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. For those who might be returning, it's a pleasure to have you back. And what is this going to be? It is going to be Dungeons and Dragons and a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. For those who might be wondering why the overlay is so different and there's people you don't know, well, it's because our Druid unfortunately had a major accident. She shattered her ankle while moving stuff around. So we don't know when she's going to be back. Meanwhile, we've decided to accept two guests who might become permanent player depending on how the evening goes. And if you're wondering if this is going to be part of the campaign, yes it is. But it's also going to be something slightly different than usual. As this will sort of also be a one-shot. Taking place in a, well, as you have been slightly becoming used to, in a dream. And for our new players, playing as the nameplates under seats, Anvara and Raimi, you are both going to be inside a dream. It is a recurring theme within the campaign, dreams. So it is not that unusual. And as with all dreams, sometime when you start a dream, the dream reality forces itself upon whomever is there. So what would normally be very disorienting or not sure why it's happening suddenly feels completely normal. And we just roll along with it. And it's only when we wake up that we realize that, wow, that really didn't make any sense. So this is going to be the premise of this one-shot. A dream, of course, for those who knows Fisher and audience, are actually real. We'll see if Anvara and Raimi are actually just figments of audience and Fisher's imagination, or were actually part of the garden. We'll learn all of this, I guess, in the next episode. For now, let's start this. Audience and Fisher, we're gonna skip ahead for you maybe a few hours in the future. You went to the gathering, you talked a little bit, you ended the day. You went to sleep. You all went to sleep. Fisher, for some reason that you will most likely come up with, you decided to sleep as well.
I was already going to anyway, so this works out.
So you decided to sleep also, and the night went well. However, in the middle of the night, you all wake up to rumbling noise, and it feels like something was shaking around you. And I would immediately ask everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Alright.
Uh, 18.
All right.
That is gonna be a 11.
Oh.
Unnatural 20.
Oh.
7.
All right. So, all right. Well, in that case, audience, you're the first one to find yourself waking up in this strange room, and it takes a moment for the reality of it to impose itself on you. You just look around for a moment, and then you realize you're in a room. There's a table. Well, actually, I can show you, as this is actually what you will see and most likely interact with. I will send it to everyone. through the Discord, so you can all have a feeling of what you are waking up in. All right, so you wake up, audience, you wake up in this room. It's stone room. You look around and you see bookshelves with books. There is a wood table nearly at the center of the room. Sorry, I wasn't able to put anything on the table with the image I had. I scrambled to create this map. There are a few scattered objects, broken glasses. Feels like there might have been some potions in there. It's all broken, tossed around. There are a few papers, damaged book. You see at the back of the room, you see a desk with, again, similar thing, except there's a weird contraption on it with different crystals on the table. You look around and you see around you. No, actually, from where you are, I think you're alone on your side of the table. Yes, you are at the upper left corner of the table. You see, the closest to you seems to be a construct. For a moment, it's fuzzy. You're not sure who it is, but you get a name that sort of pops up in your mind. Fisher? Yeah. You remember him being assistant of someone? Or maybe there to help with research? It's still a bit fuzzy. Then the memory comes for yourself that, oh yes, you actually came in with, oddly enough, a recurring theme for you. You remember coming in with an elven woman in this tower, this mage tower. And unfortunately for the elven woman, maybe not, we don't know, you do seem to have a knack for trying to seduce them with very limited success. Although from your perspective, it's only a matter of time. And you look around and you see all of them. You remember Fisher. I believe, Fisher, you are the one who had the second highest constitution roll.
18.
18,
so
yes.
I think, yeah.
So you're the second one to wake up to this, and you see the same thing. You recognize audience. The name sort of just vaguely comes back into your mind. Yeah, he sort of came in with another woman. You're not really sure why he was there. Sort of feels like he was a bodyguard, at least from your perspective. You are actually at the upper right corner of the table, on the ground. You wake up. From where you are, you can actually see there are two other people in the room with you. One of them looks like a Kenku. All feathered, unconscious. For one moment, you sort of, I know him, I've seen him. You think he was there as an assistant? Or maybe he was helping someone with research. Another mage in the tower. Audience, as you get up, you actually can see the Kenku on the ground, and you see the woman that you've been, well, up until maybe the beginning of the evening, openly or not, I'm gonna leave it up to you. I've been planning to try and see how you could most likely seduce her. She's on the table. She is on the floor also, right beside the Kenku, at the lower right side of the table. And her name doesn't come back, but you remember that you met her as you were coming in, and No, actually, yeah, you remember. It was a quest. You answered the call for a quest. And she's a cleric. She was called because there was something about life and life experimentation in a mage tower, and they wanted to have a cleric by. So they asked for adventurers, but you had to go through a very dangerous section, and you remember her saying, well, I'd rather have someone who knows well how to fight than being only alone, knowing how to pray and fight a little bit. At least this is what you think that she meant. Because as you know, sometimes when they start explaining too much, you sort of zone out just a little bit. And you sort of remember, fight. Yeah, fight, that's good. I've been told to fight. Pretty girl. Both things I like. I'm gonna come. So
choice of words.
I'm so very sorry. So I believe the third one was Remy de Kenku, who rolled, I think, was... How much did you roll with your con save?
I rolled a 7.
7? Anvara, how much did you roll?
I got an 11.
11, so you'd be the third one to wake up. So you also wake up to this rumbling, and memories are a bit fuzzy, but you quickly remember that, yeah, someone wanted a priest inside the tower because there was apparently going to be experiment on connecting to another realm, and it is something you're, or actually culturally, on the cultural side, it is something you're familiar with legends of your people and where you come from. So it sort of made sense that you just accepted, and especially since it was someone from your order who said, well, they ask for someone to be there, you should go there. It's a bit dangerous in the woods, so I'd suggest you find someone to just make sure that if you get attacked, you're at least not the only one fighting. There's always a bit of safety in number. So you're the third one to wake up, and as you start just waking up, looking around, you notice that Dragonborn Paladin. You recognize how he's been looking at you. You've seen this look on many humans before. After all, being of elven descendants, you're sort of used to them looking at you with this, oh my god, she has an unnatural beauty. It's sort of normal among elves. Sort of mystical thing. And you notice right beside you this Kenku that you remember seeing when you entered the tower, and you're pretty sure he was there to help someone do research. And just before you start really getting into the depth of your memory, Remy the Kenku sort of wakes up. You look around, and of course, reality for you is slightly different, and you analyze things a bit differently than other people. So the fact that you're looking around and you see 3 people which are, well, you've seen before, that's a good thing. Familiar surrounding. You know this is a mage tower. You've been here very often. You've seen all 3 of them. That's good. You know they're not at least going to try and kill you. At least they haven't shown this tendency so far. But where are the mages? You're in the mage tower, you're in a room, and there's only those 4 people. And so we're just going to go around and let everyone describe themselves and what they see. Audience, what does everyone else sees when they look at you?
All right. You see a male with bronze scaled, very large dragonborn male. His height is 7 feet and he weighs 340 pounds. As I said, very large. He seems to be definitely some type of fighter, possibly slightly religious. He's wearing chainmail and has a sword and shield, as well as a interesting holy symbol, that of a dragon. As well as there's a dragon on his sword. Seems to have some appearances of the dragon as well.
All right. Second, we're gonna go to Anvara, and for you now, this detail just comes back. Yeah, he's a paladin. That's why I went toward him. He was in the cloister when you were given this quest. It made sense. Maybe you regretted that decision after, but it made sense at the time. What does everyone see?
A slender, a very slender for her choice of profession, elven lady. She's 5'5", 110 pounds, not that big of a lady. She's done in very it's very rudimentary. You find it in any shop, chainmail. She brings none of her equipment screams vain. Everything she wears is strictly for its purpose. It's all about functionality, really. She wields a mace, which also is just a normal iron mace that any peasant can buy after a week of plowing fields. And her shield is just a standard shield you can buy at any weapon shop. The only thing that really stands out about her equipment is her holy symbol, which is kept in pristine condition. Even though the chain around it shows heavy signs of wear, she cares a lot for this symbol.
And for you, audience, you remember, oh yeah, that's right, you were visiting a cloister of priests, and she was there. She was looking for someone to make sure she wouldn't die on the way to the tower. Yeah, now you remember why. So, next one is Fisher. What does everyone see when they look at you standing up?
Alright, Fisher is a construct.
Warforged, for those who just want to have the real D&D term, but in my universe, Warforged do not exist as a species. They're really way too young. They don't have a name yet, so they're just considered construct. Sentient construct.
Also, quite large. Little smaller than the Dragonborn, though. Dull gray metal body with hints of light oak wood in the major muscle areas. And then kind of draped over that and sunken into it a little bit is this kind of ratty, slightly used chainmail. And then he's got kind of dark blue eyes that light up. And he's carrying he has assortment of axes kind of all jammed behind a shield on his back.
All right. And as you're looking at him, you sort of remember, you believe he knows something about magic. This is why he was there. He was definitely helping a wizard, probably a bit earlier on. And finally, Remy de Kenku. What does everyone see when you stand up?
Yeah, so you will see a black-feathered raven Kenku. He's about 5 feet tall, amber eyes, and he's oddly wearing a very kind of a gaudy coat, over himself, purple with golden swirlies around it. It's obnoxiously shiny. And he's also wearing some not valuable, but still very shiny rings on his talons. But you will notice that underneath the coat, there is very much a lot of lots of pockets and like some very noticeable, like like weapons if your eyes were happen to wander over in that direction. And he's just kind of now looking around the room, like like just sort of like trying to figure it. It's like, what was I doing again?
All right. So you're all looking at one another, and you sort of remember seeing one another, and this is when circumstances of how you all came to be in this room floods back in your mind. You were helping with research, and something went wrong. You started hearing an explosion, and then there was a wizard who came in the room, told everyone that there was a problem. Some experiments had found a way to break free from their constraint. They were trying to protect everyone. He just used magic to get you all inside this room, and he was going to do his best to protect you. He was gonna go in the next room behind the window, and this is the moment where you all look at the back of the room where there is the desk. There is a window there that you can actually see in a different room. It's completely at the back of the room, at the top of the image I sent you. So it's a rather large window, maybe 15 feet wide and a good 10 feet high. You can see what's inside this room, but it's filled with, you're not sure, probably some sort of liquid, because there seems to be something suspended in it, and everything has an odd reddish color, which oddly feels close to what you'd see if you poured a good few gallons of blood inside a pool. So maybe the guy didn't survive what he was doing, but apparently he managed to get you all safely there. The room, however, is completely tossed around. There's stuff broken on the floor, glass, vials, books that have been torn apart. There's a piece of the story missing, even from the point of view of the dream. Why did you all lose consciousness? Where did he come? Where did he go? Why is the door partially ajar, but you don't see anything? Why are some crystals on the desk humming, resonating? And what's behind the window there that looks like a room filled with water and blood and a few pieces of apparently cloth, and you're not sure why? You're not sure what floating inside this? What happened? This is where you take over.
Was the room tossed like this when we came in?
The last memory you have of this, when the wizard told you that he got you to the secured area, is that no, everything was fine. It was well placed. This is odd. It sort of feels like at the last minute, just after you fell unconscious, someone grabbed the room and shaked it really hard and then put it back in place.
Oh, my head. Something must have happened. Looking around.
I'm sure it wasn't Raimi's fault.
What? Oh dear. Wait. I was asleep. How the... This isn't normal.
Last thing, I'll look around. Last thing I remember is the wizard putting us all in here, saying he would help us. Is that what you guys remember?
Who is the master here?
It's all a bit fuzzy. I'm going to walk up to the crystals, the humming crystals, and try and figure out what they are.
Alright. So for those of you who might be watching, hopefully there are a few... Oh, goodness. Camera didn't work for... Alright. I'm gonna have to settle this during the break. The camera didn't carry over to the map. Sorry, if I go to the battle map, you won't see the players. You won't see who's talking. And with a Kenku, it's usually better if you see when that person is talking. So, so you go toward the back of the room. On this desk, looks like a small metallic. You'd call it a sculpture, but you know, with a few crystal gems jammed inside it. They're humming, resonating. It's make an Arcana roll.
Uh, 16.
From what you're looking at, you're used enough to seeing those kind of things. So it's humming because it's active, and it's most likely emanating some sort of magic. It's definitely not something that would be aggressive or an aggressive ward. You would most likely have been attacked, or there would be marks on the walls and floor, scorch marks, showing that its purpose is to attack. So it's most likely holding back something or preventing something from getting out. Could also be something which affects everyone, like an ongoing effect that would possibly explain the confusion, but you didn't roll high enough to know exactly what would be the effect of that. What you do see is that there are several crystals. One of them is white. One of them is yellow. And two of them are red. You'd say the white one is most likely a quartz. The red ones, I believe, oh goodness, I'm not sure of the name in English. Jasp, I believe is a...
Jasper? Ruby?
No, actually, I didn't want to make Ruby because I was hoping that no one would outright try to steal them. So I was going for...
Why wouldn't
I
we
believe
want the most valuable
Jasper is a red.
Yeah, I think also. So, in French, it's jasp, so it's probably similar. And the yellow one, it's hard to tell. It seems a bit brittle, but you think it's a crystallized sulfur? Or sulfur still in crystal form? The one humming is the white one, so most likely the one that is quartz. And seeing as how you rolled, you'd say usually quartz are good to keep a rhythm. This is good for things that are ongoing.
Hi. Nobody touched these. They're obviously currently doing something. I'm not sure what. But as far as I can tell, it's not harmful. And we're in a bad enough situation as it is. As far as I can tell.
As he speaks, I'm going to make my way over to the slightly ajar door and kind of peek out and see if I see anything outside of the door.
The door is a bit hard to completely open. It seems like sort of like when you're trying to open a door and the wood has expanded a bit because of humidity. It's hard to pull open, but with your strength, I'm not even going to make you roll for this. You'd probably be able to just tear them off if you wanted to. So you open them slowly, and doesn't seem to be anything inside the hallway. You see a hallway, not too wide, maybe 10 feet deep, and it goes on each side. But just as you bend over to see if you can see anything behind the door, your head hits a force wall. You see the yellow flash of light as your head collides with it. And oh,
I'll turn back to the room. I'll say, I don't see anything in the hallway, but there seems to be some kind of wall that I can't get by in front of the door.
That might be what these crystals are doing. I'm gonna go check the window.
all right.
Poke it. Does it still seem like a window, or does it do the same yellow?
All right. As you reach out and you try to touch the window, you notice that, oh, yeah, there is a force barrier also there. And this is when you notice that there's a bit of shattered glass on your side, but most of it seemed to have shattered outward, because you can't see where the rest of the glass is. So most likely the window broke.
Are these walls keeping us in or something out?
I would
Raimi,
assume
Raimi,
it's
the book.
keeping.
Raimi wanders over to the area with the bookcases and tries to get a sense of like what this room is typically studying.
All right, so make an Arcana roll.
Gotta remember my modifiers here. That'll be 14.
14. All right. It's a bit hard to tell. It feels like a lot of the books have been tossed around. Some have been damaged. But mixed with the memory of the time you spent here, wandering around and helping, this has something to do with planar research, but also monster either summoning or creation.
Squawk!
So you see the
Anything
Kenku just
useful?
start looking at books and then suddenly, ah!
What is it? What'd you find over there?
Don't attract the monster's attention.
Anvara, you had started to say something.
Okay.
I was just asking what was wrong, because I just heard a squawk from behind me from someone reading a book, so that's
Alright.
usually not a good sign.
All right.
And Raimi responds with, "Don't attract the monster's attention."
Feels like something.
He's
Well,
I
sitting in
heard-
his own little world.
Feels like something I heard while playing Baldur's Gate. Same kind of voice.
Well, that's not at all ominous. It looks like in order to get out of this room, we're gonna have to turn these crystals off, which is gonna let all that water and I think it's water, blood, all pouring in here at the same time.
An unfortunate predicament. Ah,
Oh.
All right, Raimi, you can have some shinies. As he is holding out his hands, like, toward the one pulling the crystals.
Maybe let's wait on that just a second. Figure out what we're doing before we.
Audience is going to look and say, perhaps with a very surprising roll, not for me, of actually 16 on intelligence.
Wow! This is uncharacteristic for you.
He's going to say, perhaps the yellow field correlates with the yellow crystal, so perhaps we'd only have to break one, and perhaps that wouldn't break the window. But just the one on the door.
Yes, it would be unfortunate to have to swim in chainmail when you say so.
Definitely.
I'll have to take your word for it. I mean, we could try it, although I would suggest you all group up by the door in case. That way you can get out before it floods the room too quick.
Oh boy.
Very well.
Are you ready for the mission?
I'm not dying trapped in here.
Alright,
So
so
I
if everybody goes over to the door, does it look like the yellow one is active at all, or is it just the white one that looks like it's doing anything?
With what you rolled. I'd say it feels like a hole. As in, the white one only serves to keep the effect ongoing. But the three others have been placed there as they are, sort of as the component of this spell. So basically, the quartz feels like the concentration element of the spell,
Okay.
and the three others components of the spell.
I'll, yeah, I guess I'll try pulling out the yellow one.
I brace myself behind my shield as he approaches the gems.
So you approach Fisher, you approach the gem, and you just are about to take it, and as soon as your finger touches it, you take a rather nasty static shock. Not enough to injure you, but enough to numb all of the fingers in your hand.
Bolts.
All right.
That didn't work.
Perhaps we should just smash it
Screw
with our
it.
weapons.
I'm gonna back up close to them and try and hit it with a firebolt.
Now I'm kneeled down behind my shield, like covering as much as I can.
I'm gonna put my hand on the force wall to feel for when it breaks.
Raimi's definitely hiding.
All right. Okay. So
You want me to roll for it?
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's gonna be an 11.
11. So you take a bit of distance and you fire on it, and fortunately or unfortunately, the bolt seems to only graze it, and part of the magic just gets deflected by it. A little bit seems to have been absorbed, and you actually see the force walls on the broken window and on the door seems to intensify just a little bit.
Well, I guess that's progress. In some direction.
It seemed as though the crystal slightly absorbed your magic. Maybe we shouldn't hit it with any more.
That's
you
what.
would think creatures with shorter lifespans would value their lives a bit more. Oh, Lord.
Who you talking shorter lifespans? Organic?
I'm not talking to you, Anvil.
Fair.
While they're having their chat, audience is gonna walk back over to the crystals and try hitting one with his longsword. Well, the yellow one.
Yes, this is also very much in canon with your character. This is not the first time you've done this. Go ahead, roll for an attack.
Holy
Alright.
symbol clutching
Ooh,
intensifies.
I love it. I love the nat 20s. I'm
Oh,
critting
no.
that crystal.
Oh, goodness. So, you strike this apparatus as hard as you can, and oddly enough, it does seem that your divine abilities almost infuse the strike that you just made, because you hit it square on. You swear for a moment that you even saw the divine energy of when you make a divine smite, but you know it didn't flash as hard as that. You hit the crystals, you hit the apparatus square on, and there does seem some damage appearing on it. The hit literally takes off a chip of it. You see one of the red crystals becomes loose, almost falls off. The white crystal becomes all cracked, and you can suddenly see flashes of yellow light coming from the window and from the door. It's definitely been severely damaged. However, as you're about to take most likely another hit, if I...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure of it. Seeing how obstinate you were with that little ball, I was sure you were going to hit it again. Just as you are about to try and hit it again, you do see the force wall on the window in front of you shift a bit. It seems to bulge a little bit toward in your direction, and you see whatever is inside move a bit, and you couldn't see it before because it was basically stuck above the height of the window, but you see a skeletal form slowly sliding as if it was stuck in a room full of gelatine.
I'm
I
gonna
want that in here.
freeze for a second just to make sure the force walls don't just collapse from that.
I'm also gonna freeze. I'm gonna kind of be in mid-strike, just like look behind me like,
As the skeleton rolls down, I just clutch my holy symbol to my chest like... This is why we don't sleep. This is why we don't sleep.
Put the shiny down.
I'm gonna go just response to this is why we don't sleep. Same. And then cautiously approach audience and be like, okay, maybe we don't do that again quite yet.
it looks as though perhaps we do not want to be touched by whatever's in that other room.
Best case scenario, that's blood. Worst case, something malicious. And I am not down for either.
The skeleton.
Yet I don't feel though we can stay here.
The skeletal form inside this pool of red something seems to be picked clean.
I turn to the Kenku. Might I see that book, please?
He will. I guess he would have to walk back over to the book because he originally hid. Just
Alright.
like walks back over and like finds the book, like probably finds the triggering book, like walks over and hands it to him. It's like, and says like, and kind of like repeats what he said before, like, Don't attract the monster's attention.
I won't. And takes the book slowly, looking at him like, what? What? I'll do an Arcana check on this, just to see if I can maybe decipher something extra. That's gonna be a 13 plus Arcana, which I didn't take proficiency in. Okay, 14, 13. What? What did I take proficiency in?
History, insight, medicine, perception, and religion.
Oh, it makes sense, but...
While he's doing this, Raimi is going to take his own look at the crystals. It's like, okay, Raimi, you can look at the shinies now.
Well, at least he didn't say take. So, Anvara, as you're looking at this book and you're going through the pages, a portion of it is about summoning creatures from other planes and trying to... Well, actually, in this world, they're called shards. But because I haven't given you all the story about the world you live in, basically, other realms in this world are called shards. And I'll probably fill you in at the end of this, because so far you both feel like you'd make good addition. So it talks about reaching other shards, intersecting the different shards together, how to artificially create temporary realms. But the other half of the book is also about creating places for them to evolve and study them, and creating necessary creatures and construct to basically take care of this. So you have pictures and information about a variety of constructs. You're not too sure what they do. And a variety of monsters, which their goal are mostly to sweep behind and make sure nothing is left, make sure that the room is ready for the next monster to come in. With a 13, unfortunately, you don't recognize any of these monsters, any of these constructs and planar beings.
All right, well... Indeed.
So, Raimi's own look at the crystals. Does 19 glean any other information?
Yeah,
stuff that they didn't already know.
A little bit. This seems to have been hastily made, as in MacGyvered, so that there was an emergency, and good lord, how do I solve this problem? Slack, 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 slack. I hope it works. And it does feel like it is there to maintain that seal on the window. So you'd guess that most likely the window shattered, and this was an emergency reaction to make sure it doesn't come in. But why would it also be on the door? That is something you're not sure of, but you're sure that this contraption works the force fields both on the window and the door. Was it intentional to cover both? It's the only detail you're not sure of. But what you're sure of is that the hit that the Dragonborn did on this contraption severely weakened it, to the point that you're not sure if it's in good shape enough to last indefinitely. Eventually, the damage it incurred will make the contraption fail in whatever it was doing.
Well, Ravi, it looks like we're in deep shit.
How high up is the roof in this room?
About somewhere between 15 and 20 feet high.
Okay. So probably still still like attached to like a main part of a building, not like some standalone tower part.
Most likely. This
Okay.
is most likely because of all the books and the different shattered glass and all. This is most likely a research room.
Okay.
Because of the window, you'd say that it was researching and studying things that we're supposed to look at through the window.
Speaking of those vials, is there anything left in them? Or are they empty?
The vials that aren't broken, make an Arcana roll.
Oh dear. Oh, hang on. Didn't land flat. That's going to be a 17.
17. Most of those that aren't broken do seem, empty. One does seem to have a very clear liquid in it. From the way that it sloshes around, it seems to be slightly thick. This one is really more like a sample vial with a metal stopper on it.
Okay.
You see a few bottles with red liquid in it. You'd venture to say that it's the right red to be healing potions, but with the roll that you made without making a test, there is a slight uncertainty to this in your mind, but they could be 3 healing potions. There is one that has a thick green liquid in it. Just looking at it almost makes you sick when you look at it deeply, as if it's a sludge coming from a realm that rubs you the wrong way personally. And in your conviction, if you get the
Yeah.
those are those that aren't broken. From everything else that's been broken, from the way that it all shattered, and you actually do see a lot of liquid just everywhere. A lot of them seem to have been filled with different things. What broke them, you're not sure. It does seem to have been something that bursted with a lot of violence. So you see the liquid a bit blasted on the wall. Some of it has just spilled to the ground. But either whatever effect it had when it broke wore off, or it was nothing that would have a ill effect on all of you.
All right. I turn to the group. This is the workplace of a man or a woman who's been looking into things they have no right in looking into. This is ungodly. Just looking at the green thing, just like, God, no. But I'll still pocket the clear vial for just for fun of it.
So you have a small sample vial of thick, clear liquid.
I'll pocket the rest and bring it to the group.
So do you try and hide the fact that you pocketed one of them, or are you just doing it not caring if anyone sees?
Oh no, it's going straight in the sack. They can see me. I'm putting the sack on the table and putting the bottles in.
Okay. So he puts one vial that seems to be filled with a clear something, and 3 which... Audience and Fisher, you both have healing potions on you. The red does fit that, but without test, you can't be sure it's actually healing potions. But it's roughly the same red. So there's 3 of them.
I don't mean to go on too long, but is there like an alchemist journal that would be nearby? Something that looks like a notebook.
Make a perception roll.
All right. Do I have? Let's see.
Perception, you do have proficiency.
That is going to be that's going to be a 17.
17. All right. You look around, and in the corner of the room, upper corner of the right side of the room, you do notice that there's quite a lot of a mess there. Torn scrolls, damaged books. There's one of them that looks fairly intact. It does fit the size of what you would expect someone would write experiment result on.
All right. Is it in a language I understand?
What language do you understand? Yeah. It's... there are a few... It's mostly common.
Okay.
There... I was pretty sure you had common, but yeah, I just looked anyway. Build suspense. There are a lot of arcane references which are literally beyond your level. But it actually does seem like a record of what was happening, what he was doing. And the first, I'd say, 100 pages of this, it's a hard read. It's like trying to read a dictionary in another language. Dictionary that has both languages in. So it's hard. It's a heavy read. You think you understand because, like I said, it's a bit like reading a translation dictionary. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
So, but it's not obvious. There are still a few things, like in every good book. What is running? The act of running. So there are a few things that you read that, yeah, no, I really don't know. And since you're not an arcane user, there are a few drawings which, yeah, you've never touched this before. And inside this room, there seemed to have been a lot of research playing with shards that seems to have been tainted in some way. The end goal of this was to see if there was a way to remove the energy which tainted that shard. So the intention was good, but as you keep on going to the pages, it does feel like what they always say. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And the more he kept digging in this, the more he figured that it's not easy forcing energy out of a shard. You end up calling creatures, you end up corrupting creatures, you end up suffering taint yourselves. So his main conclusion, experiment after experiment, is that's not how you do this. That's not how you succeed this. And there does seem to be a lot of frustration growing in the way he writes. When you get to the middle of the book, he does apparently seems to have found what might be an answer. And this is when you see the reference to him calling for second opinion. Clerics of life he wanted to make sure that there was a respect, because he was sort of beginning aware that he might actually be suffering from influences from these experiments. When you reach the last pages, it feels like he found something and he actually tried to put it in action. There's a few reference to Remy in the last few pages, often asking him to copy scrolls, which he needed to for a reserve of spells in case things went wrong. And make a perception roll. Another one.
Oh dear. Can't tell if that's oh, okay. That is going to be a 11.
11. Well, it averages a bit out because the DC is a bit lower because of the first roll that you made, and now because of your reading this, you know a bit what to look for. So the DC is much lower. Because of that, you look around and you do see remnants of burned scrolls, which usually happens when you use a scroll. So most likely, whatever happened now, he used those emergencies. He was getting that desperate. The last few pages are hastily written. It's hard to be able to read this, sort of like trying to read a paragraph written by a doctor.
So basic Elvish.
You look at this and there's panic. Something wrong happened. Something seeped out. The tower is reacting on its own. It's defending itself. It's summoning monsters like a body summons white blood cells. And the last thing that is written in the book is, I hope this is enough. I hope this will save at least a few people while this process finishes.
Friends? I don't know how to say this, but I think the castle's alive.
The hills have eyes and the walls have ears.
I bring the book over to Fisher, who I saw cast a firebolt earlier, so I assume he's somewhat versed in the arcane. Like, can you make much sense of this? I dare not think that this castle is alive, but I mean, this is insanity.
I mean, I can try.
Please.
The arcane arts are more of a side.
It's your minor.
Yeah, it's my minor.
Arcane roll.
That is really good. That's gonna be a 22.
All right. So with this understanding, with Anvara explaining a bit what she has managed to skim from the book, you look around, you look at the book, you look at the different arcane symbol and arcane imagery, the circles written, and what you can glean from this is this place isn't alive, but it's a mage tower. When it detects danger, especially those made by stronger wizard, defenses will usually activate. So basically, you're in the middle of a quarantine of a wizard tower. But
Tick tock, baby, tick tock, and he points at the crystals.
and as he says that, you sort of have a intelligence roll to make. Fisher.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're the one.
14.
14. as he says that, you look at the book, you look at the crystals, you look at the window, and there is this huge voice in your head that says, "Oh shit. This mage most likely sacrificed itself to make sure that the tower wouldn't sterilize you. And the only thing preventing this is the contraption audience severely damaged, which is most likely going to fail rather soon. If the
Randy, what did you do?
If the process isn't done when the crystals fails, whatever is sanitizing this place will most likely be able to enter this room."
Nuts. So real quick, tower's not alive. It's just, it's a wizard tower. It's got defense mechanisms, which is whatever is on the other side of that, what used to be a window. From what I can tell, this little contraption is the only thing preventing the tower from erasing us. And it's gonna fail. So I suggest we back up to the door and at least try and get those a little better working so that when it does, we can bolt and close them behind us. I'm gonna go start doing that.
Oh, maybe it looks like we're in deep shit.
Oh boy. Oh, light guide us. Okay.
Audience, I know this is not your cup of tea, but what is Audience doing as he learns all of this?
I guess he would probably once Fisher said that, he'd probably also head over to the door, and he would probably start looking for a way to shut it behind him, because that at least he can understand. The rest of this, he's just been like, all right.
Too many balls.
Yeah.
Well, he's not that dumb. He's just not interested in intellectual things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told him before, because this conversation occurred once before. Audience has enough intelligence to finish high school.
Yes.
He just
That's about it.
doesn't care.
He just wasn't trained to finish high school, but he's smart enough to do it.
Who needs brains when you've got conviction?
Exactly.
And steel.
Exactly. All right. So, your plan was to cancel out the spell's effect long enough for us to leave and then reactivate it somehow. Is that what you said? Sorry, I'm still kind of taken aback at the fact that I was sleeping.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say, once this fails, it's not coming back up.
Okay.
So the best we can do is put the door in between us, and hope that works.
Okay.
Randy produces the illusion of a bunny rabbit hopping.
Okay.
All right.
So you all see this bunny appearing in the room and starts scampering along the floor, hopping.
That's right, Remy. We need to fucking daddle. So, who here seems the strongest?
Most likely Audience, because when you're next to him, it doesn't feel like he is as large as a door. It feels like doors are as large as him.
All right. So, okay.
Doors could only wish that they could be as big as audience.
Exactly.
All right. So, oh dear. So, in the picture, would we have room to be like behind the doors as like someone like just like leans out and zaps it again to try to smash it? So we can be like directly behind.
So in the picture, every tile is basically a combat move, a combat tile. So it's 5 feet by 5 feet.
Okay. So no way audience is fitting behind that ajar door.
Well, the door itself, when it's completely closed, there is about 10 feet between the wall and the table.
All right. So, are we ready for
The
this?
the force wall, is it like right in the door frame?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just behind the door. As soon as audience opened the door, opening inward, and he just tried to peek outside, he hit the force wall, making it impossible to... Basically trying to see what's on each side of a window. Directly on the side of the window.
Okay.
The corridor seems clear. There's no debris, there's no corpse, so whatever was sanitizing the corridors seems to have ended or passed.
I hope this isn't keeping every single window closed, because once we leave this room, something tells me these aren't the only windows in this whole tower.
I'm gonna go with no. This definitely seemed more of a one-room shield, as it would be.
Yes.
All right.
Seems more of a mistake that it's locking us in here than design.
All right.
So we all
Raimi,
get
did you do that on purpose?
Okay.
Can't help but think this guy might have been a little bit of a problem that this guy died.
I mean, not knowing how to dispel safely is a big, big problem. Wizards.
That's why I tend to deal with the much simpler magics of boom.
Magic audience can get behind. It does
Yeah.
boom.
Okay. So if everybody's lining up at the door, I'll just go ready and then
Yes.
shoot a firebolt if everybody affirms that.
You only live 900 years.
Raimi prepares the dodge action.
Nice.
So you all nervously watch as this is going on. You see Fisher raise his hand and shoot the fireball. Make an attack.
Uh, 17.
All right. Well, this time you manage to hit it mostly square on, and you do see one of the crystal just one of the red one starts to break and it falls, and immediately you hear the hum of this starting to wind down. It goes from a you see the flash of yellow light disappear on the window in front of you, and you see it disappear. Are the doors open or closed right now?
Open.
Open. You
The
see.
plan was it drops,
All right.
we go out the doors and close them behind us.
So you see the doors, the yellow light on the doors disappear. Right now, nothing seems to be happening. But you do notice that whatever is inside the red room is starting to slowly move forward. As you realize this window is 10 feet wide by roughly 10 feet tall, and as it starts to slide, you hear this and it starts to move forward with an odd square shape.
I'll say, quick, everyone out the door so I can shut it behind us.
Who leaves
I got
first?
Yeah.
Oh no, I just grab the Kenku and just throw him through the door.
I mean, I guess I'm light.
All right.
I'll follow behind him and help audience close the doors.
Anva,
I follow as soon as I've thrown the Kenku out the door.
you take the Kenku. Wow, you've got a really high passive perception. You take the Kenku, and just as you're about to shove it inside this open door, your passive perception kicks in. There is a gelatinous cube in front of the door.
Wait,
I have a prop for this.
It takes a 15
there's another
perception.
one?
Yeah. It
Oh,
takes a 15 perception roll to detect.
Oh, we messed up.
To detect. It takes a 15 perception roll to detect a gelatinous cube.
Oh, there you go.
And Anvara has a passive perception of 15. So as soon as the wall dropped and you took the Kenku, you sort of saw this rippling effect of the wall disappearing and this ooze starting to ripple outward as it's trying to move forward. So just as you're about to throw him inside of the gelatinous cube, you realize what you're gonna do.
It was more of a pull by like the cloak and like move him, not like a Super Mario grab above my head kind of thing.
Actually, since I can see that too, I'm going to see if I can acrobatics out of your push.
I'm not resisting. So.
Okay. I mean, like it's a 14 anyway, but
Passive perception 17. Yes, you also realize this. Just
Yeah.
as
like
you,
if he saw it, I definitely saw it.
yeah, you both see it. Audience and Fisher don't see it at all, but the two of you notice this immediately as the force wall drops. You realize that the only reason why you couldn't see it was pressing so hard on
Oh my God.
the force shield that you couldn't see it moving.
They're like, why are you stopping? We gotta go.
There's nowhere to go, my child. Look in front of you.
I told you a million times, Raimi, the Jello is mine.
I wonder what this actually means.
Well, Jello is canon in D&D now.
Yeah.
Fisher and audience, do you want to make a perception roll? Because you see
Yeah.
Anvara and Raimi suddenly stopping
Yeah.
dead in their
Door.
tracks.
And quizzically look
I got
at,
a
nope,
16.
that's a 2 minus 1. Oh, no, wait, plus 1. 3.
So, audience, as soon as you see them stop and say that you're in trouble, you sort of see this rippling effect of the ooze trying to push forward, and so it just hits you. Oh, there's something. But Fisher really doesn't see anything. What were you about to do just before everyone realizes this? Because with a 3, even if I give you advantage, you at least needed a 10. So
Well, I was planning on everybody else going through and then following them and closing the door behind us.
all right, so
but
since all right,
nobody else is going through,
Well,
like, what are you doing?
all right, yeah, I can accept that very easily.
I'll say there's something outside the door.
Jello, Jello, Jello.
Well, actually, Fisher, you're the only one who has more arcane knowledge, and a gelatinous cube is sort of a trademark of wizard cleaning their tower. So I'd let you do an Arcana roll to see if the word Jello jogs anything in your memory.
Nope. Or maybe. That's a 9.
Oh, goodness. No. You hear the word Jello, Jello, Jello. And as you hear this word repeating in your head, we're gonna go to the break, and I'm gonna try and fix the camera for the battle map. So it's only going to be a 10-minute break. So
Grab the Kenku by the scruff and just like, oh shit.
So, see you all back in 10 minutes for a fight against 2 gelatinous cube.
Lovely.
See you in 10 minutes. Alright, welcome back everyone. Sorry it took just a little bit more time than I was hoping for, but we're still here and we're about to start a fight. And I actually was able to get the battle map working. So for our players, if you want to go see on the Twitch channel, you'll see where the monsters are, and you can tell me where you are exactly in the room.
Okay.
Say from when we left off, probably still be just right at the door next to.
Because of the letters, and I was so pressed for time that I was having trouble creating all the different letters since we have 2 people with A. Anvara, you're T. Because I misread your family name of your character and I thought it was beginning with a T. I realized this last minute. No, okay, oh, sorry.
It's fine. You know what? That's such an easy fix. D&D Beyond, edit character.
No, but I can easily change it after with a K.
There you go. No mistake done.
Mistake? What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the advantage of being the creator of a world. You never make mistakes.
So,
well, it's the 3 laws of the Dungeon Master. I don't know if you know them, and I don't know if anyone in the audience knows this. The 3 laws of the Dungeon Master. First law, the Dungeon Master is always right. Second law, in case of doubt, ask the Dungeon Master. Third law, if the Dungeon Master is wrong, refer to Rule 1 and 2.
As far as positioning goes, as for me, that's fine, since I was holding on to Remy.
Okay.
And I don't know if Remy squirmed away or something, but...
But it's like, I did do an acrobatics to get out of your hold, so I probably would have...
Technically, I'd say the slime is most likely like this. So it would be probably something like this. Fisher was supposed to be the last one to leave. Remy was supposed to be shoved inside the door. And Anvara was supposed to be the one shoving it. So from your last description, that would be what this looks like. I'm going to have to make the transition. Otherwise, you won't see it. So most likely this is what it looked like from what we're describing, but I'm giving you 6 seconds to change whatever position you had.
Mm-hmm.
No, that'd probably be my positioning.
Okay.
So Raby probably would have backed up a little bit toward the strewn books and stuff in the corner, probably. And then like maybe was trying to get to the other end, but realized it's like, oh shit, right, there was another one.
All right. So they're roughly mid-room. All right. Well, roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Oh,
13.
Nat 1.
Not 20, so 24.
We have very extreme.
19.
Nat 1 plus 4.
All right, so
At least there's no critical initiative fails. I don't
Yeah.
think.
No.
no, in initiative usually it's not. Although if two people roll 1, I might actually make something happen. But since so audience, what was your initiative?
13.
And Fisher, I think you said 19.
19. Plus 0.
That's all right. And the monsters rolled. There we go. All right. So, 2 gelatinous cubes slowly moving toward you. Well, for obvious reason, the first one to go is Remy with a 24 with his initiative.
Yeah. So does Raimi recall any information about dealing with these kinds of creatures, or like any integral information that he may need to communicate with the others?
All right. Well, since you were all preparing just before, I'll let you do an Arcana roll.
Don't fail me now. That is a 14.
14. You'd only remember very basic information. It's basically a cube made of acid. It is slow moving also.
Right, then Raimi will at least use his free action to say, Raimi, don't touch that, that's dangerous. Are we considering that Arcana roll my action?
No, like I said, because you were all preparing, because I basically said that I give you 6 seconds to readjust, it could have been your movement and your action just before the initiative.
Okay, doke. In which case, he is going to pull out his short bow and attempt to shoot the one that is the closest to them.
Well, from where you are, there is the one with everyone in front of them, which is coming through the door, or the one with no one in front of it coming from the window in the back.
Yeah, he's shooting for the one, at the one at the door, just because I know I can get better damage with that.
All right, so I'd say to get a really clear shot and not have a chance of hitting someone, I'd say you'd have to sidestep 1 square. Because from where you are, there is a chance that you're gonna hit Anvara when you shoot.
Like that 1 square to the left, you mean?
Well, for the battle map, it would be to the right, toward the bookshelf.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a moment, but so he will alter his position 1 to the right, because I wasn't sure if the door was in the way.
The door is at the bottom. The slime is in front of it. That's why you can't see it.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't dealing with I can't shoot it from there because the door is blocking the way now.
No.
Okay,
it's really because Anvara was straight in your line of sight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so he'll go for a short bow strike. That'll be do 25 to hit.
Oh yes, it hits.
Right. So then short bow is D6. So that'll be 11, and then also sneak attack damage. That plus 8 sneak.
Alright, so 12, 19. Alright, so this one here. Alright, you see your bolt fly into it, sink in. You think it did damage. It's a bit hard because you're throwing arrows at a jello, so it's a bit hard to see. But it hits.
It's all he has because he's not going up. He's not going up to that damn thing. That'll end his turn.
Alright. Next one in the initiative is Fisher.
Hearing the Kenku scream about not touching it, I will actually spin around and shoot a firebolt at the one that just came in through the window.
Alright. Go ahead, roll for attack.
14.
You hit? They don't have a good AC.
It's a big, yeah. Oh, sweet. 10.
Alright.
I do kind of wish these things had eyes, but
And then I'll move.
The room is 30 by 30. You can basically go anywhere you want.
Yeah. I'll move 10 feet closer to the one that came in through the window to stop it from
Okay.
getting to the Kenko.
Alright.
Kenku. And then I will pull out my Great Axe.
Alright. So, next one in the initiative is Anvara with a 13. Anvara, I said.
That
I had a
wasn't
Oh, no,
me.
sorry.
I
I-
rolled
I had
a,
a 13.
Alright,
I
so
rolled
sorry.
a nat 1.
Yeah.
It's because on my sheet it's AV and AN. So I just mixed it up. Alright, yeah, audience 13. Sorry.
Alright. I'm going to hit the ooze in front of me first,
Alright,
because it's right in front of me.
sure.
With a 19 plus. Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna hit. That's a 26.
Sure it does.
Jesus. And then I'm gonna divine smite it. So I'm gonna use one of my spell slots.
Go ahead.
So then that's gonna be 1d8 plus 5, so okay. That's not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's 8 plus, okay, 9, 10, 12, so 13 physical plus 6, and 8, so 8. 9, 10, so 14. So 13 physical, 14 holy, 27 in total.
And you're level 3. Jeez.
Divine Smite does a lot.
So
Yeah, I know, I'm
buff
just-
dude with a fancy sword.
Ridiculous.
no, they don't get many spell slots.
I got 3. I'm gonna do 3 turns of burst, and then I'm leaving it up to you guys.
This is why I gave you 2 gelatinous cube. I know he can do a lot of damage.
Oh my god.
And then I'm going to use my movement to get up on the table behind me.
Alright.
And I'll say I'll take one more step back. So I'm at the second square of the table. So I'm going to take 2 steps back on the second square of the table.
Okay. So as you try to leave, he does try and take an attack of opportunity on you.
Alright.
And with a natural 1. So you see this
I
slime.
don't even notice.
No, you don't notice it. You just go back and you see this slime tentacule just trying to move forward and grab you, but you know, he grabs a piece of the wood and start dissolving it. So you easily escape this and you move 10 feet backward. Alright. Alright, so this one, when you hit it, you saw the energy go inside the gelatinous cube, and you saw it spread, and it definitely started to wobble faster for a moment. It definitely didn't like it. It's not starting to lose cohesion yet, but still, that didn't feel very good. Alright, and now we are for the gelatinous cube at 10. So, let's start with the gelatinous cube at the door, who does the thing that all gelatinous cube are. Well, what they do, they try and sterilize the place. So, he tries to engulf you. You have to make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can get away from it.
Oh, hang on, just gotta move this. Okay. 13?
You just make it. At the last moment, you see the gelatinous come and part slightly to engulf you, and at the last moment, you manage to tear yourself away from it. You can move. You can be pushed 5 feet away. So I'm giving you whatever direction you want to go. Backward, toward the side.
I'm gonna try to go to that slot right beneath Raimi to his left. Like top down, like his left, like our left, basically.
All right, toward Raimi.
Yep.
Right, so it's a 5-foot movement, so you're not. It's not very far, but if you succeed, you get pushed 5 feet away. So it's basically just 1 square of movement that you have.
Yep.
All right. So this one just tried to engulf you and failed. So we go to the one on the top. Moving forward and also trying to engulf Fisher as he is moving. Fisher, you are entitled to your dexterity saving throw.
I hope you're dexterous.
Haha, no. 16.
16, you make it. You manage to move away before he closes on you. Again, you get 5 feet. In which direction do you want to move? Downward, toward the side. Push forward inside of it.
I'd go to the side
Side, alright.
so don't get sandwiched.
Zigzag across the floor, shuffle in diagonal.
Yeah.
Alright, so they just tried to absorb you, but well, they can actually that's about it. That's all they try and do this time. They learned their lesson. You are nimble. Well, actually, they're not that smart. Did they learn?
It's like, do they have enough sentience to to obtain knowledge?
All right. So you managed to avoid this attack, which could have caused a lot of damage. So we go last one of the turn, which is Anvara. What do you do after narrowly escaping the attempt of being eaten alive by a slime?
Oh no, not like this. This is not gonna be my last memory. I look at the one that Raimi had shot at, and I'm gonna send a sacred flame his way.
Alright. Do you want to try and move?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll stay right here.
Alright.
That's gonna need a 13 dex saving throw.
Nope. Doesn't make it.
Alright, 1d8. Where are you? Here you are.
They have -4. Wow. He rolled a 6, so he had a 2 on his save.
That's gonna be a 5. of radiant damage.
5 radiant damage.
Is it radiant?
It is radiant.
Sacred Flame?
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
I believe so.
Yep.
So the,
Yeah,
on the
of course.
one coming out the door?
No, it's the ones that was closest to the other guys.
Okay. So you said 5 damage?
Yes, that'll be 5 radiant.
Alright. Alright, so you turn around, throw this bolt of radiant energy, affects the gelatine. This one is slightly reddish in its color. It hurts him, but you know, you look at your radiant blast of energy, you look at your hand, and you look at audience and what he just did, and yeah. Well.
All right. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast. Hang on, Shield of Faith on Fisher.
Ooh,
Oh, sweet.
Shield of Fate. Let me see what it does again.
I give you a +2 to your AC for up to 10 minutes.
Yep. And it is concentration.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
No worries. Told you, man. Support guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also saying it for viewers. Sometimes viewers don't know all that much about Dungeons and Dragons.
That's fair.
So I do it as much to remind it to you as for reminding it to people watching. Because one day we will have many people watching and there will actually be people talking in the chat. Alright, we go back to the top of the initiative with Remy.
Alrighty. So,
Again, you find your line of sight blocked by a lot of people who had just moved.
now remind me, the brown stuff, like specifically, like, you know, to the left of the topmost cube. Those are tables.
Yeah, the one completely at the top, I couldn't find the desk, so I made best with what I had. The one completely at the top is sort of a working desk, and the one in the middle of the room is a work table.
Okay.
Those that are near the walls, because I know they might be a bit small to see, the large dark brown things near the walls, those are bookshelves.
Okay. So yeah, Raimi is going to Raimi is going to basically move, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, it's a large creature. You don't need to move to not hit someone, especially the way everything is placed. There's room to hit.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of it like a different way of positioning myself.
Sure.
Yeah, so Raimi is going to use his full movement as well as the bonus action disengage to move to the top left corner that isn't the desk.
All right. All right. So, how do you want to move around the gelatinous cube?
Yeah, so it's like one up, like one diagonal, like moving myself toward the top left corner.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and that should get me to the other corner within 30 movement. Or in fact, exactly at 30 movement.
So you're moving diagonally straight up.
It's like once, like, you know,
So-
the first 5 feet straight up, and then diagonal for 2 squares, and then to the left into the corner.
Okay, and then you go straight toward the corner.
Yeah,
To
while
the-
taking the bonus action disengage to avoid provoking the monster.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I don't know why. Every time I start talking in 5, I always skip 15. I go straight to 10, 20, and then 25. I don't know why. I've always done that. 15 seems to have a problem in my mind.
Yeah, so then from that position, I should still have a good angle to hit the cube that is at the doorway.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I feel like that was just going to be a consistent problem, so just better to put myself in a different part of the... Oh, that literally hopped out of the bowl.
So what are the ranges of your bow?
I believe the short bow is up to 80 for the short range, I think.
Yeah,
it's like,
sorry,
there's no issue with that.
I was thinking of crossbow, sorry.
No, you're fine. Crossbows vary significantly, yes. So it's a bit low, but 13 hit.
Oh yes, it does.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then there's 6 base plus 2. That's 8. 9 total damage.
9. All right. And you're attacking the one next to the door, or the one that came out of the window?
To the door.
The door. So 9 damage. All right.
Right, and that is all Raimi's actions.
All right. So you manage to move about the room and avoid getting attacked by the gelatinous cube. All the while attacking the one at the bottom. You manage to hit. The bolt, the arrow sinks in. Does feel like it hurts. He's still not starting to lose cohesion, but he's starting to look like it's beginning to be a challenge to stay perfectly square. All right, next one is Fisher with a 19.
Okay. Now that this has made its way up to me.
Yeah, it tried to eat you alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to swing at it with my great axe.
Go ahead.
That's a 21.
It hits.
For 13.
All right. The hit goes through. You see your axe slices through the gelatine, comes out. It does have now a nice, beautiful pattern because it was in contact with acid, but it's not damaged.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
All right. So next one is audience with 13.
All right. I will, sensing the ooze behind me, turn around and hit the one behind me.
All right, go ahead.
4. 21 to hit, and then I will also Divine Smite it.
All right.
So my second of those spell slots. That's gonna be 3. Well, okay, first. Okay, so 6 points of physical damage, and then...
All right.
Oh, come on. Alright, 7 points of radiant damage.
Still not bad.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
I mean, compared to, the last one, I mean.
Yeah.
And then I will use my movement to... I'll take it out, but I'm actually going to back around to the... behind it, and I'm going to go behind it.
All right.
So it has to choose between me and Fisher, so we're flanking the ooze.
All right.
On that table.
So you go up on the table, and with the little movement that you have, it's not a problem. And you find yourself slightly elevated, looking at the... Well, it's a large creature, so you're still looking at its top. Alright. So the hit that you did, again, did damage. You are slightly disappointed in yourself because, you know, the divine energy just wasn't in it this time.
Yeah.
It's probably because Anvera wasn't beside you, you know, you weren't trying to impress her. Now she's in your back, and...
I'm a performer. I only do well when I'm...
You know, you'll see, audience has a harem list, so...
Don't.
No, he doesn't. I'm
Well, I
not
do.
letting you.
But we don't talk about that.
You have a list? Color me intrigued.
Alright, so the next one to act are the monsters, who are also going to try and attack. So, the one who came out the window understood with a 5, and... No, actually he didn't. I misread. They're both really too dumb. Alright, so the one at the door is going to try again to engulf Anvera, because if he moves, he can actually manage to isolate you completely. So, again, you make a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty. Back here. It does not pass. 7.
7? Oh. Alright. And... So, you find yourself inside of the gelatinous cube, and you take...
Oh.
Well, the initial damage isn't all that much. So, you take 11 points of acid damage.
Some would say 11 is a lot.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm not feeling great.
so you
What did I
see
just
it throws itself on you and engulfs you completely. You find yourself slightly floating in this acid, and you start feeling your skin and your clothes slowly dissolve on you. It's actually quite painful, but you know, it's not like being thrown in fire. It's just you're sizzling slowly.
Like, these gelatinous cubes know to simmer their meat first.
Oh, hang on.
Yes.
What color is it? The one I'm in?
This is the white one. Transparent one.
There we go.
So we can just see her suspended in there starting to sizzle.
Yep, you start seeing her clothes slowly dissolving. You see blisters appearing on her skin. Because I just look at your hit point and it's actually hurting a lot. So you really start
it's
seeing
bad.
blisters appearing in on her skin.
Audience, don't get too excited about my clothes dissolving.
That actually
What?
happened. He'd just get
What?
really awkward.
Audience
Save
is
your
excited
e-girl.
about-
Like we keep saying, audience
Wait, no.
is a
Never got this.
dragonborn. He's 15.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, he's eager to find a date, but he's also awkward about it. So, all right, so we get the next one. The other one, well, seems to be facing a problem. He doesn't want to get hit because he saw what happened to the other one, and the one that did that is on one side. So he's gonna go and try to attack audience with a slash of its pseudopod.
Aha.
And he attacks you with a 7.
Audience is still not impressed by these attacks.
You barely notice it. It's as if it was aiming for your shield when it did that. Alright, so the attack bounces off your shield. Alright, now we get... Alright, so now we find ourselves, the two have acted. It's Anvara's turn. You are currently floating inside a gelatinous cube. You are holding your breath. You are restrained. And cooking.
Great. Good times.
Good memories.
Yep.
You're gonna be remembering that for the next 500 years.
I just try to look at audience like this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is the... You shouldn't have done
Don't
that.
encourage it.
This is the start of something now.
It's the start of something new.
Trust me. Being eaten alive by ooze was not worth what you just did.
Alright, so you can try and act against it inside it. You can still attack. Restrain doesn't mean you can't attack. It just means that you have disadvantage. Hold on, I'm going to read it to you. You have 0 movement speed. You attack rolls against the creature have disadvantage. And you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throw. You can also try to escape it.
Can I cast while in here?
Yes, you can.
Or
Alright. Actually, you have to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you manage to maintain the Fate Shield on audience.
oh, that's right, taking damage. Okay. Con. Okay. That's gonna be an 18.
That's enough. Don't worry about it. So you manage to maintain the concentration even though your skin is slowly peeling off your bones. So like I said, yes, you can cast. You can try to escape. You just can't move.
Well, okay. So if I were to cast Misty Step,
Interesting. What does Misty Step say?
it's super brief.
Like,
Yeah.
You just tele up to 30 feet away
it's
to any unoccupied space.
That I can see.
Yeah, I think there's no problem to it.
All right, I am out of there. Casting Misty Step.
Yeah, visual range, 30 feet. Yeah, nothing's preventing you from casting this.
Great, I'm out.
So you disappear, and 30 feet away, basically this means you can reappear wherever you want in the room.
Yep, I'm going to just go right next to Remy, like at the upper left of the table.
Okay, Raimi. Above him, directly above him, on the table, is that it?
Just below him, actually.
Just below him. Okay.
Like between him and the audience.
Alright. Alright, so you are floating inside of this, and then suddenly you turn into mist. The jello just retakes its place, and you reappear, gasping for air, outside of this jello thing. In front of Raimi.
I'm just like... just wiping it right off of me. Taking chunks of skin off of me at the same time. Well, that's that.
It's gonna disappear with a good healing, don't worry.
Yep. Healing spells, the best dermatologists.
Yeah, doesn't even leave the scar. Alright, so you escape being eaten alive. Misty...
You do still have an action.
Yes, Misty Step is a bonus action.
Is it? Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's a really good spell.
Good
Yeah.
spell.
but that was
you can still use a cantrip or
Yep.
make an attack.
Okay, so who's closest to the... I'm gonna give this is a toughie. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and cure wounds myself right now before this gets bad.
Go ahead.
Alright, so 1d8 plus 3. That's gonna be a total of 6 regained. For a total of
That's not
19.
bad. Alright, so you heal yourself and you see the blisters on your skin slowly starting to disappear, become lesser. And, well, you've never been burned like this, but at least it doesn't last.
Oh, never again.
Alright, so we go back to the top of the initiative with Raimi. And you're seeing all of this. This all seems quite horrible. You just saw Anvara get engulfed, partially digested, then disappear and heal herself. She's full of blisters and gasping for air, taking out the slush inside her dress.
Yeah, not a great day. So, in the desk to just above Raimi,
Yep.
is there a place to physically put himself into?
No, nothing is that big. You could climb on
No,
top
I'm like
of
the
it.
underside. I mean, like if there's like room underneath it.
No. It's a solid desk with drawers, so you wouldn't fit in.
Okay, I wasn't sure where the leg portion would be.
I know it's a desk for standing in front.
Oh, it's a standing desk. Okay, I better understand now. Then what Raimi's going to do is, it's he's at least going to shoot at the glob monster, right next, closest to him, the one that came out of the window.
All right, go ahead.
Where'd that D20 go? Nat 20 on the die.
Oh goodness! So the way I do,
You don't know how much this means. You don't know how much this means for rogues.
Jesus.
yeah,
Oh God.
every rolled damage is doubled.
So, oh wait, how are you doing critical? Sorry.
Exactly as described in the book. It's every
Okay, just
damage
making
that
sure.
is rolled, you double it, but fixed bonus, like your bonus from attribute, are not doubled.
Yeah. So yeah, short bow is 4 on the die. So then you're doubling that to 8.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then 8 plus 4, that's 12. And then there's sneak attack die. That's a 2 on the die. That's 4. And then that's a 5 on the die, so that's 10.
So in total, you did 10 sneak attack damage. Is that it?
Or it was 2 and then a 5, so it would be 14 sneak damage.
14. Yeah. All right. Well, that attack actually managed to do a good amount of damage, and you see the bolt sink in this one, and it wobbles a bit, and you start seeing it lose a bit of its coherency. It's starting to wear down.
Now, is the other desk area also a standing desk?
No, the other one is a table. So there are actually chairs. I couldn't find the image of the chair that I wanted, so this is why they're not drawn in the map.
All right, so he will go 3 squares down and 1 to the right, and he will bonus action hide.
All right.
Because he's probably maybe is intelligent enough to have like wrath that can be invoked.
All right.
Let's see what that stealth is. Not great. 11.
It's a gelatinous cube. It's not that perceptive.
I mean, it's low for a rogue.
So you said you
That'll-
rolled a total?
11 total.
11 total. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he may be stealthed, he may not be. I don't know, but that'll end his turn.
All right. So we go down to Fisher. So the gelatinous cube in front of you is slowly starting to lose its perfect square shape. It's hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and chop it in half with my big ol' axe.
Go ahead.
That's a 24 to hit
Oh, that hits.
for 15 damage.
Oh, wow. Ooh. You cleave into it. It actually does quite a lot of damage. You can even see that the axe hit that you managed to land doesn't reshape itself very fast. It's having problem recovering from that. You're just seeing split, and it's slow to reform. It is very hurt. Anything else? Move? Bonus action?
No, I'm good.
All right. So we go down to audience.
All right. So I can see that the Zeus in front of me is quite hurt.
Yes, it is starting to lose cohesion. It's having trouble recovering from the hit that Fisher just landed on it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna definitely try and hit it then.
All right.
Okay, I also got a nat 20.
Oh. All right. Go ahead.
I was not going to divine smite it, so I'm still not going to divine smite it.
It's.
But I will roll.
That's
up to you.
That's the strength of this. You can announce that you're gonna divine smite after you rolled.
I'm still not going to divine
Okay.
smite it.
Gotta save it.
Yeah, save my last one.
Just killing it is enough. You don't have to
So that's gonna be
nuke it.
so that's
Like,
gonna
you don't
be
have to
8
overkill, you just have to kill it.
Sorry.
I got a 13 damage.
13 damage. All right. Now, he also has a lot of trouble recovering from that. You can see that it is really wearing down. You just hit, and you start seeing. Sorry, you start seeing him slush down, and the hit that you just landed, he barely just recovers from it. It's more or less starting to look like a round pancake instead of a perfect square.
Alright.
Anything else? Move, bonus action, yell, scream, sing.
Oh, actually, bonus action. Is that a bonus action or is that an action? Let me check something.
Sure.
No, okay, that's an action. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do any bonus actions. I am going to, no, actually, I like where I am. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to end my turn.
Alright, then we go down to the slimes. Alright, one is extremely hurt, but it is dumber than dirt, so it's just gonna keep on going. So the one being flanked by Fisher. Alright, well, Fisher gave him a little bit more damage, so he's gonna try and eat you alive. Fisher, you can make a dexterity saving throw.
Would I get an opportunity attack if he's moving onto Fisher's square?
Yes, I will give it.
Okay.
That is plus 0. That's an 11.
Ooh.
I do hit him. I do hit the ooze as it tries
Alright.
to move away with a 26. So I will hit him for. And I get my bonus on this, or just the dice rolled? I don't remember.
It's a normal attack.
Okay, so just my. Okay, so 7 plus 5. So 7, 12. So I do 12 damage to the ooze as it tries to go on to Fisher Square.
All right. Well, the strike that you do definitely managed to carve right through it. Your weapon actually hits the ground. You notice that it is barely holding on. Unfortunately, it is holding on enough to be able to just slush its way over Fisher and absorb it inside of itself.
Dang it. Something will kill it.
Fisher, for you, well, not that it's gonna change anything to the damage you're gonna take, but it no longer feels like you're being absorbed by a cube. It feels like you're being absorbed by a slush pancake. So you take 11 points of acid damage.
I am going to use my reaction to cast Absorb Elements.
Oh.
And gain resistance to acid damage until the start of my next turn.
Absorb.
Smart
Special
stuff.
one reaction, yeah.
Nice.
Alright, its effect on you stores. You have resistance, so you take half damage from it. And you store a little bit of the acidic damage, which you can redirect on your turn. So instead of taking 11 points of damage, you only take 6 points of damage. Alright, so this is what the first one does. The second one... Well, this one has been absorbed. And... 1... 2... what happens when he does that?
It suddenly jumps into the air and
Actually, it's just gonna move straight through the table. It's wide enough to engulf it.
Oh boy.
Actually, it didn't see you, Raimi, but it was going to try and absorb audience. However, it hits you first. So
oh dear.
it's
Thanks,
gonna
Remy.
try
Pick
to
you up for the
absorb you. But you are a rogue, so you have the best chance to avoid this.
And come on, dexterity, don't fail me now. That is a 14.
You make it. You manage to move out of the way as you see this wall of slime coming toward you. So, do you move up, down, sides?
I don't think I can technically move up.
Well, I mean up on the map. Not up for you. So, backward on the sides.
I guess he would. I guess he would go for the. I guess he would go for the corner closest to his allies, if I am
All right.
interpreting it correctly.
So between audience and Anvara.
Yes. Just like jumps out of the way.
All right. Well, I can't see anywhere that says that it can't. I don't see anywhere it says that it can only do this on one creature. It says when it moves, it engulfs things. Since you were able to move out of the way, it's just gonna keep on moving once more and find itself trying to absorb audience.
Let's go.
Dexterity saving throw.
Let's go, Dex. Oh, Dex, you failed me. Got a 7.
You got a 7? Alright, so you find yourself engulfed in slime, swimming in it, in suspension. Now you feel a sense of connection with Anvara.
Don't. No.
Stop.
However, you take this actually pretty well, as you only take 6 points of acid damage.
Oh, I'm chilling.
It's because of your armor, you know. It's not sizzling you right away. You're wearing quite a lot more armor than Anvara, so it's. But you start feeling it.
Are you both wearing chainmail?
We're both wearing chainmail. What's this bullshit?
Oh. Well, it's
My
know,
scales-
standard
my
fantasy
scales are
female
tougher than
armor.
elven
Sorry,
flesh.
bud. That's just how it goes.
Oh yeah, it's a chainmail bikini. I forgot.
Yeah.
No, actually, you described
Them's the
yourself.
rules.
You described yourself as being extremely skinny, so you don't quite fill in all of the space of the chainmail. So it got inside this space. Audience is a hefty boy. It's he's sort of
There's more
wearing a
surface
tight
area.
chainmail shirt, so there's not a lot of room in it.
The chainmail's full of holes. What?
Yeah, but yours has space under it. Audience is filling it completely.
It's the kind of chest that Raimi would kind of like glance twice at as he's running for his life.
All right, so yeah, I didn't notice the armor you were wearing. I thought
Well,
it
it's no
was a
good.
medium armor.
It's no good if it doesn't. If I need dex saves.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, dexterity saving throw, you still get the +4 for your dexterity saving throw. It's stealth that you have this advantage.
No, I know, but what I mean is, it doesn't help to have a good AC when
No,
AC matters like
Yeah,
0.
Yeah.
That's why I've been happy that the oozes have kept attacking me up until this point. I'm like, sure, attack me.
Yeah.
So, audience, you find yourself floating inside this cube, holding your breath, and, well, they have both absorbed people, so this is their turn. We go to Anvara.
All right. Well, I
Now you see 2 of your friends being digested alive. Audience and Fisher.
man, both of our fighters. That's great.
The one that Fisher is being eaten by seems barely able to maintain its coherency, as the one that Audience is being eaten by still looks like a square.
Okay. I'm gonna run up to the one holding Fisher and just whack it with my mace as hard as I can.
Alright, technically you are in range of a attack
I?
of opportunity.
Ah, he walked up onto the table. Ooh.
Yeah, his
Okay.
goal was to go absorb Audience, but he didn't know Raimi was there. So, but since he didn't know, he just kept on moving, and now Audience has just learned what it feels like to use the levitate spell.
Can I attempt to pull out Audience from the slime?
Yes, you can.
Is that a strength check?
Yes, it is a strange check. Creature can try. Creature also require attack, and the creature making the attempts. Oh, yes, you can. But the creature making the attempts will take damage as he tries to do so, whether you succeed or not.
Don't care. Let's do
Alright.
this. That is going to be a 19.
You manage. You reach in, you grab Audience, you pull it out, you pull him out.
You're not done here. You're not done yet, big boy. Come on.
Oh, goodness. But you do so at extreme costs. How much hit point do you have left?
That's never a good question.
19.
All right.
Oh no.
You take 15 points of acid damage while you do so. So
Alright.
you reach in, you take audience, you pull him out. It's not that hard. The DC was 12. So you pull him out, but you notice that as you do so, your arms are covered with blisters, and it really hurts.
God. And I'm gonna cast Healing Word on myself.
And the scream of pain actually heals you.
Alright, that's a
Healing
D4
yell.
plus 3. That's gonna be a 2 plus 3, so I'm getting at least 5 back.
That's good.
I am having a very bad time. Please help.
But the good news is, audience, you were pulled out of the jelly. And yeah, technically you pulled him out, so he would be sharing the same space as you.
Well, I imagine like if I pull him out, like I just like fall backwards as I'm pulling out a 300-pound Dragonborn.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Audience steps out of the acid, just like, oh, that tickled. Looks down at Unvala's arms, just like, oh.
Yeah, my arms are here and on the floor, so
You know, audience has this moment because for some reason, you remember an odd taste of a gelatinous dessert, and so you have sort of the reflex of, "Am I gonna lick it?" And then you watch at Anvara on the ground. Oh no, I'm not.
just here with two
Right.
skeletal hands.
We
with
got
thumbs
super
up.
into the spicy jello. I forgot about that.
Get your hands off my fucking jello. Raimi
I'm
says.
about to harvest this Jello. Oozes.
Yes, acid damage, spicy.
All right. So that's what Anvara, and I guess we go back to the top of the initiative. Unless you want to move, Anvara. You're a bit of a corner. Literally
Yeah.
and figuratively.
I'm just gonna back up and lean on the table away from the two
All right.
blobs.
All right. Like this. All right.
Just
So
going like this to everyone, like, hang on.
and,
I need a minute.
and just as you do this, no. All right, so we go back at the top of the initiative with Raimi, which you just saw this. You barely managed to escape being digested alive. You saw audience being covered by this, starting to float. You saw Anvara reach out to rescue him, pulling out, leaving half of the skins on her arms inside of the jelly. And you have this huge gelatin cube right in front of you. I mean, point blank range in front of you.
Yeah, bonus action disengage as he is shouting, "Get your ass out of there, Raimi!" As he uses his movement to go toward the location of the left door.
The door, all right.
Using his full movement, and now, if I remember correctly, restrained does not give a creature incapacitated condition.
No.
No, restrained.
No,
Hers-
that's a different.
Restrained. Restrained. Sorry. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack roll against the creature have advantage, and creature attacking have And creatures' attacks have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so that's important because now Raimi is going to fire his short bow at the one currently still devouring somebody.
All right.
Come on! That'll be a soft 20.
You hit.
All right, so hopefully with sneak attack, which is why I asked, because I don't get sneak attack in this manner if the ally's incapacitated.
Okay.
That's why I asked.
All right.
Let's see. So that's 6 base damage.
Okay.
Hopped out. I would have liked that roll though. 3 and 5.
So you manage to fire your bow, and you see the arrow hit, sink in, and for a moment you're not sure, but you just manage to put it to 0, and you start seeing him lose coherency and just melts on the floor with Fisher coming out of it, not gasping for air because he doesn't breathe, but still most likely thankful. You managed
Stay away
to
from
slay
my
it.
fucking jello! He shouts at Fisher as he ends his turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one has been killed. All right, so we go to Fisher. So you find yourself unrestrained, covered in slushy slime.
I'm going to take my great axe and using some of the stored up energy that I absorbed when it absorbed me, run up to the other one and return the favor.
All right.
It's 14 to hit.
It hits.
So that's
And so you can add 1d6 of acid damage.
acid. Oh, I hope this doesn't heal it. That'd be awkward.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
so
say. I'm
that's 13 slashing and 4 acid.
13 slashing and 4 acid. It doesn't seem
Gotta
to
try
be...
some stuff out.
Sorry?
You gotta try things out. See if they work.
Yeah. Well, you hit it and you release the energy stored inside of you from the acid that you just took, and doesn't seem to be resisting it or healing it. And the damage you do just put it under this equilibrium moment where you see it start slowly to lose its square shape. It's been hurt.
Sweet.
hope it's been 27.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's. You know what? I'm going to action surge and hit it again.
Go ahead.
Ah, no, I'm not. That's a 8.
It hits.
Oh, okay. No, I guess it is a big cube.
Gelatinous cube do not have a good AC, but they can soak up a lot of damage.
Wait, if it's AC's 8,
Oh,
in 8 hits, I literally can't miss it.
that is 4 slashing damage.
All right.
I was just gonna say how this D12 has been rolling so well, and then I rolled a 1.
Well, if
Actually,
you
it's kind of
If you roll a natural 20, you miss no matter what the bonus. And if you roll a natural 1, sorry, it misses no
No,
matter
I rolled a 3 on the attack. I rolled
Okay.
a 1 on
Sorry.
the damage
Okay.
die.
Okay,
If I roll
sorry.
even a 2, I hit.
Yeah.
Audience, I'm gonna say it right off the bat. Unless you roll a natural 1, you hit.
Yeah.
A gelatinous cube has 6 armor class.
So nope, yeah, I hit it. I rolled a one.
You don't want to tell the rogue this.
Yeah.
Well, you can sort of deduce it by the way that it moves so slowly.
Yeah, it's more about how badly. It's not as though we can see these numbers as we're doing damage like in a virtual RPG.
Yeah. Well,
It's like you know what I'm talking about. It's like the damage numbers just kind of like flying into the air.
Best use of Skywrite ever. Like damage numbers pop up.
You bring exactly one person into your party specifically so that they could just skywrite all of the damage numbers, and that's the only thing they do in combat.
I studied in computer programming, and at one point there was one student that fell asleep while he was working. So what I did is I took a small piece of paper and I wrote something on it. I put it on top of his computer. Everyone started laughing because I wrote down with a black marker AFK.
That's pretty good.
So, all right, we had Fisher. The next one is Audience.
Alright.
Time
I
for
will roll
revenge.
to attack it. I rolled a 3, so we're good.
Yes.
I will
Ridiculous.
divide smite it.
Go ahead.
So that's gonna be 3d8. So 10 points of physical, and then 11 points of radiant.
All right, so 11 irradiant, and what was the normal?
10 physical.
10 physical. All right. Well, you hit it pretty hard. You see the magical energy of your divine smite spread into it. You see these little bubbles forming inside. It almost loses cohesion, but it barely managed to stay there.
All right.
It's really hurt. It's starting to look like the same pancake as when Fisher got absorbed.
All right. I will stay where I am.
All right.
I will take it if it tries to engulf me.
Well,
I will protect the elf behind me, who is in a much more critical condition than I am.
and you see this bony thumb. All right.
Ah.
I can still feel it.
Just holding my shield and my mace really hurts the raw metal on my hands.
Yeah, you look at your hand, and the first thing that comes into your mind is, why can I see my bones? All right. So, the gelatinous cube moves forward, and it is going to try and absorb Audience.
I'm not pulling you out again. That's literally gonna kill me.
Does Fisher get the opportunity strike because he's behind it, or he should be behind it?
Does it?
I know it doesn't move away
Yeah.
from it; it moves toward it.
Oh, like
It's just that you're in the way, so it moves over you and
Oh, okay.
absorbs you.
Okay.
Does it move away from me though?
Yeah, not me get an opportunity strike.
Oh,
Fisher.
Do
Not
I
you.
get an opportunity attack?
Only
No.
if you have a reach greater than 10 feet, because where you are right now, you're not in range to create an opportunity of attack.
Well, he should be next to it.
I should be because I hit it
He hit it. at
last
the
turn. I ran up to it
Yeah,
and
all
hit
right.
it.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that the room is 30 by 30. You don't really. Well, in that case, well, yeah, you do get an opportunity attack. Attack of opportunity, sorry.
Kill it.
Please
do my
kill
best.
it.
It's a 9 on the die, so
It
hit.
hits.
For now we're back. 13 damage.
You hit it. It carves through it. Your hit even touches the table under it, but it still managed to move away and roll over audience. It is barely managing to maintain itself, though.
All right.
Audience?
The funny thing is I'm gonna roll a dexterity roll to get this, but I actually want to fail it because if I don't fail it, it's gonna hit our elf behind it, and I want to be the one engulfed.
Getting engulfed could
I
outright kill.
did not fail it. I rolled a nat 20.
Thanks, bud.
Rolled a 20.
I was actually going to say, whenever the cube enters a creature space, the creature must make a DC dexterity saving throw. A creature that chooses not to be pushed suffer the consequences of a failed save. You could, even though you succeeded, decide not to move away.
Can it engulf more than... I guess I wouldn't know if it can engulf more than one creature.
Well, I mean, it engulfed the table at the same time as it engulfed you.
That is true. So from audience
Just saying.
perspective, he probably would roll away. So I'd roll to the side, then away from it, up.
Yeah.
So I can't roll back.
Yeah, you could technically always choose to fail a save.
Yeah.
You just literally do nothing.
I will not. From audience perspective, he would not choose to fail though. So
I am going to get shithoused by a slime. Great.
So you see the slime coming toward audience. It tries to engulf him, but for some reason it's moving so slow that he just get pushed back, like placing a little doll in front of a slowly moving bank of sand. So he just get pushed back toward the side, and you see this thing rolling toward you, and so you make a saving throw.
I believe.
And Vera, make a saving throw.
Yes, I know. I just didn't want to pick up the dice.
Jump, jump,
Oh,
jump.
Christ.
Might
on
as
it.
well
Hang on.
jump.
What's my dex plus 4? Oh, 14.
You manage to move away. You literally have to climb on top of the table behind you to get out of this. But you manage to push yourself away. But it's just moving, so... Well... I'm reading the... I'm really trying to make sure that everyone gets out of this alive, but I just realized that this is what happens when he moves on you. It doesn't say that he can attack also. However, audience did so much damage to it, it's going to attack audience first, because...
Thank you.
Hit me.
That's why I got you
Hit
out.
Come on,
Me,
hit me.
baby, one more time.
So, it is a 22 hit, total.
That actually gets by my AC.
Oh! And so it
Don't
hit-
have more than 20 AC at level 3.
So you get hit with a slash of slime for 9 points of damage, acid damage.
Alright. We're okay. But
Alright. So you manage to move out of the way. You see Anvara barely managing to move away from it, and it uses its last breath to try and slap you with whatever it can. And this means we go down to Anvara. You could have the finishing blow. Could.
Take your revenge.
All right.
It tried to eat you alive once. It almost burnt off your hands and arms.
All right. Filled with determination, you see her just like, nah, you're mine. Drops the shield, grabs the mace with both hands, and just drives it down into the slime, trying to splatter it.
Go ahead.
So, since I'm using both hands, does that change the D6 to a D8?
Only if the weapon has the versatile.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
the typical
mace
mace
isn't.
has the two-handed property.
No, it doesn't. Oh well. It's for roleplay.
Leroy Jenkins.
That is going to be a 14.
To hit?
Yep.
It hits.
So 1d6. 5 plus 2, that'll be a 7.
You hit it as hard as you can, and you see the slush of slime bursts away. And in that moment where you feel it, I killed it! You just barely see it trying to move again. It is holding on by a thread.
I think we're good. I think we're okay.
Hang on. How long does this last? And does it attack on its first turn? The spiritual weapon attack on its like spawning turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it says specifically in the spell's description that when you summon it, make an attack roll.
Yeah, just I'm looking like a wall of text on like half a screen, so it's like super long. But yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and spiritual weapon this bastard.
Alright, so spiritual weapon cast as a bonus action. Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
It uses your wisdom for the attack and damage rolls.
It's a +3.
It's a sweet.
So D8, where are you? There you are. That is going to be a 7 plus 3, so a 10
To hit?
from the spiritual. Yep.
You hit.
Oh wait, no. Whoops, I did not roll. That's dumb. That's going to be a 15.
To hit, it does hit.
All right, and do you want me to re-roll the damage?
Just tell me, what's the minimum damage that you can make with this attack right now?
Very minimum 4.
Then you you hit it, and you by summoning this energy. What shape does it take?
It takes the shape of a halberd.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
and
summon
just
this,
drives down into it.
Yeah, you summon this spiritual halberd, and you let it strike down. It goes right through, slush it off, and you see this explosion of jello going everywhere. There's nothing left. It had 4 hit points left. It had 3 hit points left. So you just had to hit it.
She just clutches her holy symbol like, we lived. We lived.
All right, and so the last creature dies. The jello-y form just loses consistency, spread on the floor, and you look around, you see the door, and you have the feeling that, all right, well, whatever was going on, you survived being disinfected from the tower. And as those ideas swirl around in your head, the world around you starts becoming fuzzy, and everything seems to be floating around and disappears. And everyone's gonna learn who was real and not on the next episode, because this is the end of the episode. You all
Alright.
managed to survive an encounter with 2 gelatinous cube in close quarters, so making it easier for them to try and absorb you. I made a few mistakes, but basically because I just realized that they can try and engulf and attack at the same time. But you managed to escape and live. And the dream ends, and by the next time, whomever is going to actually be a part of this world will remember everything that has to do with the world and be there for next stream. But so far, I'd say, at least from the DM perspective, there's a really, really high chance that both are going to be there next session. So, how did you like to fight two gelatinous cube?
Honestly, I was kind of expecting like some weapon melting to happen. So it's just like, well,
Yeah, I
not
was-
putting out the short sword or dagger today.
Well, no, the gelatinous cube take time to dissolve metal. It's really just a huge stomach. So it's really fast on organics, but not on metals and things like that. Although you might get out of an encounter with the gelatinous cube with new interesting acid burn pattern on your weapons and armor, but it's not gonna damage them unless it actually managed to dissolves you completely.
Yeah, largely, I mean, like from someone who has studied chemistry, it does depend on the kind of the kind of material you're working with. So it's just like,
Yeah.
but no, it's just like, well, at least I was at least thankful in the moment that I decided to buy a short bow.
Yep. And my axe is all cool swirls on it and stuff now.
Yeah,
Yep.
but it is a dream. Maybe
Alright.
it's not gonna be there when you wake up.
Wake
My
up.
arm's got some
Oh
cool
man, that
Oh,
was
wait,
cool.
yeah, that is
Go
actually
find
a
some
question,
acid.
because
dump
I
it.
lost HP. So do I wake up with full HP, or did the HP carry over from the tree?
Well, I can say this easily for audience and Fisher at least. No, when you're going to wake up, you didn't actually take damage. Everything's fine. You're still up. If you would have died, you simply would have woken up. So it really was just a one shot to see how our two players fit in the group. And so now we all know. And for those watching, you can cheer for one if you like. But like I said, unless someone really thinks that they wouldn't fit, for me at least, they fit pretty well. So, thank you for watching. We are gonna see you again next Wednesday, and stay safe, stay healthy, especially in these trying times that we have. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a patron, or simply by spreading the word of the channel, because the more of us there are, well, the more fun it is, and the more chance that we're gonna get to have a interesting community. So, thanks everyone, and see you all next Wednesday. Bye.